Content is king, and content creation is now the dream of every organization. Be visible. Work with us to achieve this. Documentaries, features, adverts, infomercials, digital marketing and media liaison. Also, book airtime on national TV for features, documentaries and adverts through us. Call us +254 732 584045. Charms Media, your visibility partner.
Welcome to Kedwa TV. We are glad that you're joining us, and first let me thank Rosella Furniture. We are at Rosella Furniture. We thank them for partnering with us. My name is George, and I'm with Alicia moderating today's discussion. We're going to be discussing about coronavirus, COVID survivors, and the experiences that we have, and just to educate Kenyans on what Corona is all about. Ms. Alicia?
Thank you so much.
Oh.
We are at liberty to remove our masks as we keep the social distance. All right. On my left-hand side, we have the one and only Mr. T. Could you please tell us what you do and how you survive the pandemic period?
My name is Tommy, originally from Mombasa. I've been in Dubai for 14 years. The company is DubaiHolidays.com. We service clients from Kenya. We have an office in Mombasa and Nairobi.
Thank you so much. And on my right-hand side, I have the former rugby coach, the one and only Mr. Arega. Could you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
My name is William Arega. I'm a former rugby player, and I do coach a little bit, not as much as I want to. And been in Dubai 14 years, and I'm here because I survived COVID last month.
Thank you so much. So I would like to ask you, Ms. Arega, so how did you get to realize that you're suffering from this dangerous disease called corona?
Basically, what happened was I did not realize. I just started feeling uncomfortable around the first week of January. And this was after a client of mine actually mentioned to me that he was isolating because he was positive. So right there and then I knew this was just about it. Then about 7 days afterwards, I started having a major sweating and shivering and high temperatures. Then that's when I went for a test, and I found out I was positive and isolated.
So please help our viewers know that what initiative did you take? Did you just take yourself to the hospital? Did they call an ambulance? What was the procedure? How did they receive you? Were you isolated in a certain
First
place?
10 days I was home, isolated at home. I was doing very well. I was doing all the COVID protocols, the vitamin C, the zinc, steaming.
Mm-hmm.
I actually even used some herbs, the famous Kenyan herb Marubaini.
Mm-hmm.
And it did me so well until on the 10th day, 10th day of isolation, So on the 10th day of isolation, it was just a normal day. I had normal temperatures, fever breaking, fever going down. I decided to take a shower, and while in the shower, I could not breathe.
Hold on. So during the shower, you just had a shot of your breath?
I just had a shot of my breath. I felt like somebody was choking me. So when you take a shower, water runs on your face. You're able to breathe, but I couldn't breathe.
Okay.
Then I decided to go steam again, and I really had this good sneeze, and I was comfortable. Actually, I was not sleeping on my bed. I was sleeping on my carpet, on the floor with a pillow on my chest. So that was really more comfortable. It was the most comfortable place in the house. So I moved my coffee table, and I just put a small blanket on the floor, and that's why I could sleep all through the 10 days. It was very comfortable.
So how did you get feedback from your family? How did they attend to you?
No.
Did you keep on reporting to work, or you were working from home, or you couldn't totally work out?
I could not do anything because you have to isolate. But thanks to Dubai Health Authority, they called to check on me constantly to see how you're doing and what's going on. Do you have any difficulties breathing? are you eating and stuff? So they called me once, and I was actually basically for the 10 days I was okay. I just had fevers going up and breaking, And then, as I told you what happened after taking a shower, I steamed, slept for 2 hours, then waking up after that 2 hours, I couldn't breathe. So immediately called the emergency services. So when I called them, they were at my house within 10 minutes.
Could you let our viewers know that which numbers did you contact during this time, and how long did it take to arrive?
Dubai ambulance number,
Okay.
which is 998, and
Totally do. So after the isolation period of 10 days, what was the next thing that you did?
so after isolation, on day 11, I had the respiratory failure. So basically, my hands were turning black. The palm of my hands were black, and I knew something was wrong. So basically, my mom was a nurse, so you get to have some alert. So I knew something was wrong. Why are my hands black? And then that's when I went and took the shower,
Okay.
and then came and steamed. And after taking the steam, I slept for 2 hours, as I told you before.
Okay.
Then when I woke up, I couldn't breathe. Then when I called the ambulance, they came and checked my oxygen levels. It was down to about 69 to 70.
Oh, Lord. That's absolutely.
And then they asked me, they basically asked me if I've got any history of hypertension. Yes, I had some hypertension last year, but I was out of medication because I was exercising, eating well. And then basically what happened, they decided to we need to take you now.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. We really appreciate it, sir.
Just to go back to his story, because it's something that people don't hear about so much. First, you talked about the oxygen levels. Do we have any idea what is the normal oxygen level that people should have?
Anything above 92 is normal.
It's normal. And I think we should advise Kenyans to buy the oxygen oximeter for measuring your oxygen levels.
Yeah.
So when it falls under 92, get an emergency, otherwise you're going 6 feet under. I think that's true. That's very serious.
It's just good to. I actually have a watch that I'm actually monitoring
Yes.
my oxygen right now.
And were you hospitalized?
Yes, I was taken to emergency.
Which hospital?
Wellcare,
Wellcare.
Medicare, because I was taken to emergency. They did all the stuff to stabilize me. Then after I was stable, they did an X-ray and found out that I had very severe COVID infection.
Wow.
Yeah, so. And
So
that's-
you're in the statistic that we hear of people who've actually gone to hospitalized ICU.
I was taken to ICU. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, I was in ICU for a couple of days. It was an experience, I might say. Basically, it's traumatizing.
Yes.
I still have some vivid
Memories.
of what I saw there and what you went through. So the moment you walk into ICU, they drive you in, they prepare you, they tag all these things on you to check your oxygen.
Just like we see in the movies.
It's just like you see in the movies. And then they put the heavy pressure. The doctor comes, talks to you and tells you, there's nothing much we can do for you. We'll throw everything at you. And
There's no medication.
there's no medication for COVID. I think that's what people need to understand.
Yes.
COVID has no medication.
Yeah.
So they just throw stuff at you to help your immune system fight the virus. So what they did, they said, we will find out in 24 hours how this works. So they put me on steroids for my lungs.
At this time, you're in bed in ICU.
Already been strapped up.
I just want to, before we get to that, because that's really the main, the cost. Because in Kenya, in hospitals, mostly huwa tukienda hospitalini, unaambiwa you have to pay before you. Were there any costs involved?
Dubai is
It's a different place.
It's a different place as a resident. In Dubai, money comes last.
Yes,
Your
but
health comes first.
very, very true. The reason I'm asking is because I want Kenyans to realize the seriousness of this and that there is a cost involved.
There is a cost involved if you don't have medical insurance. And if you don't have medical insurance, according to my experience, the cost is 20,000.
What?
Dirhams.
Initially.
For just being admitted.
20,000
Yeah,
dirhams.
but if you go to a government hospital, hopefully you get a bed and get a space to be admitted in a government hospital. Treatment is free.
That's also another question. Were there beds available?
At that particular time, the reason why I went to WellCare is that's the direction the emergency services were told to take.
The
They
nearest
took me to Prime Care, but Prime Hospital. As I got there, the space was already gone in the COVID clinic. So the next closest was WellCare.
Wow.
So WellCare were very good with me. They took me in and just did everything and tried to keep me as comfortable as possible. And the good thing is that the nurses were really great. They counsel you and they tell you to be calm. Because once you go, I've never been to hospital in my life in like 42 years of existence.
You're a rugby player, man.
So before then, I have a question. So since a long time, you've never gone
I have
to the
never been
hospital,
admitted to
never
hospital in
collapsed,
my life.
never to an
Never.
intensive care unit. So this was the first time in your life.
Can you imagine?
And Corona's just wrecked into Dubai and you're a victim.
Can you imagine? And the first time in my life when I was in an ICU, and the
Wow.
stuff you see there,
Wow.
that thing drives you mad.
We're so sorry about the bad experience.
That's amazing.
So once I got in there, the staff I saw, the person next to me, they put you in stages. So I was put in the first stage. You could see people on ventilators and stuff. But I was on the third last stage to get to a ventilator. Had it got worse, I would go to the second last stage. And then if that was not working, they would have induced me in a coma and put me in a ventilator.
They induce you in a coma.
Yeah.
It's the last stage.
Yeah.
That's how you go, because many people don't understand what being induced in ventilators, what it pertains. So basically the hospital puts you in a coma and they
They give you lungs.
Give you
time to-
lungs time.
Actually, the ventilator runs your lungs as the infection gets less and the inflammation.
either uamke ama usiamke.
So once you get to that level, so when I got into hospital, the doctor saw me the next morning and said, "It's your choice. You gotta fight this. We can help you, but you have to fight it." So when they told me that, your whole life just runs in front of you. Because once you go in there, no family can see you. They're the ones calling them, sending a report. You cannot talk on your phone because you can't. You got
You
stuff
can't,
in your mouth and stuff. It's too much oxygen running in the system, and basically, it's you and God. And that's what happened the first 24 hours. I couldn't do stuff. But I must say, it's you just have to determine, once you get there and look at what's around you and see how bad people are, you want to leave.
Yes.
Very true.
You want to leave.
Actually,
and that's what happened to me.
Yeah, the most important thing is to try and avoid getting infected, because once you get infected, the chances are nobody knows.
Your luck.
It is.
I can say, I think what the perception is that somebody sent me something on social media to find out about COVID, that drink gin.
Okay.
And I laughed.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on, wait. So somebody, is he a medic or is just?
No, it's just a medic, like, you have COVID, drink gin. People don't realize, what people don't realize, and everybody should understand this. When I was there, I was asking questions. Everything they were giving me, I was asking, why are you giving me this? I've got an injection here, I've got an injection on my belly, I get an injection again for blood thinners. Everything just to avoid clotting, infection, and then you have steroids running on the IV and they keep putting you on that. So basically, you're just there and your body is fighting it. So when the doctors told me, the one thing they told me, had you not called the ambulance when you did, this would have been a different story. You would have been here in a ventilator a few hours after that.
Wow.
So
Yeah, because your oxygen was under 60.
Yeah. So had I not, my infection when they did my x-rays was all infected. You still have COVID, you have patches, but my whole chest my whole lung was infected. So that's why I went to ICU. The whole lung was infected.
Do you have pictures of when you were in hospital?
Yeah.
Because I think our viewers will be interested in seeing some.
No, that's
sorry, it's just
No, I think I
curiosity.
shared it with family and friends and close friends, and good thing about the whole experience there, most of my friends in Dubai decided to get vaccinated.
Nice.
Which, so, you know, you don't know about COVID until it hits something close to you.
Yes.
And then it just rings in your head.
Very true.
But I'm grateful to the doctors, the nurses. I can't remember them by name. There was a time I had a panic attack. My eyes was popped out. You know, your life is ending. The nurses were great, and they brought me back.
What caused the panic attack?
Basically, I have no idea.
It's a panic attack.
It's a panic attack. Like, you know, when you breathe and then you hesitate, then you can't breathe anymore. And then the oxygen cannot go in your lungs. Then the next thing, your eyes are popping out. And then there's code blue has been called. The nurses come in and try to get. And then you know what? It's like basically it's like you understand what these nurses go through when somebody's that the last people see before they pass on. So I thought that was going to happen to me, honestly. Then when they did that night I decided to force oxygen into my lungs. So for 12 hours I sat in that hospital bed and started just sucking in that oxygen slowly. 5 hours down the line, I'm coughing, a little bit of blood droplets.
You are coughing blood?
Yeah, a little bit of blood droplets because the lungs have been infected.
Yes.
Then I did not sleep for 12 hours because all these tubes are in you.
You can't sleep.
So instead I said, you know what, the doctor said if oxygen doesn't get to your lower lungs, you have collapsed lungs. So what I thought, like, if I can force this stuff in my nose, into my stomach, into my lungs, this is gonna work. And the gamble paid off.
Thankfully.
You are a gym guy.
Yeah.
The gamble paid off because after 12 hours exactly, my oxygen level jumped from 80 something to about 93.
Wow.
The doctors come in the morning, they are always walking in a park. They come in and check you like, how did this happen? Okay, moving to the next stage. So they move me to the next stage and stabilize. Again, okay, moving to the next stage because you see they need to move because somebody else is coming.
Somebody else replacing you.
Yeah.
Then on day 6, they said, I think on day 5, they said take him to recovery ward. He's negative. I was actually negative on day 5, but my lungs were so messed up. I still can't go home. I still have to be on oxygen therapy, and they have to put you through the process before they release you. So you can't just walk out of hospital when you're negative.
No.
Your oxygen level has to be stabilized, and they have to continue giving you for infection. When I left, I still have pneumonia, but they told me it's going to clear up. So,
what many people don't understand is the virus actually leaves your body weak. It kind of affects a lot of your systems, and it seems you went through a lot of that.
I couldn't walk properly. I had a brain fog, loss of appetite. I lost weight. I just started isolating myself, you know.
Wow.
I started isolating myself because of, you kind of get into like a mini depression.
Yes.
Yeah, because the stuff you saw, you're in a hospital and you can see what's going on and you cannot leave the room. And you're in the room for like 11 days.
Wow. Did you see any deaths happening?
You can't see. It's well protected. You cannot see, but you can see.
Hear some.
You can see the process. You can hear code blue going on. Somebody running out of oxygen. The ICU is busy. It's like an ant. You know what I mean?
Like a beehive.
Beehive of activities. Like when the nurses switch, it's all running around.
Wow.
They are busy. There's no sitting down in ICU. It comes down for like 10, 15 minutes, then you hear people running around. But I'm glad when they took me out of ICU,
You okay?
They took me to the other room. Now I've got my TV and I'm like, okay, this is normal.
Life is coming back to normal.
Life is coming back to normal. So they reduced my oxygen and they put a longer one so I could walk. But at some point I tried taking a shower. That was a disaster. The nurses came in, barging at the door and helping me back to bed. Because when you take a shower, you lose oxygen. Because you take it from 2 different oxygen tanks. There's the main one.
By the bed.
By the bed, that's not a tank. That's actually a system.
Oh, okay.
It's purified oxygen. And then there's the tank. So when you actually go take a shower with the tank, you know when you're going to the toilet or you're going to take a shower, it's logistics. They have to plan this thing for 10 minutes. Then they tell you, okay, let's go. If this happens, we'll drive him through and take him back to his oxygen. So at some point, it happened one time going to the restroom for a long call. After finishing, I ran out of oxygen. The tank was not enough. So that was rushed back to bed. And then another experience was when I was taking a shower Again, you're moving, and then tank was not enough. Unfortunately, it was not embarrassing because you're in hospital. They walk in there when you're naked, they dress you up and put you back to bed and put you oxygen.
And this brings me to just a slightly different topic, because unajua Wakenya wengi tumekaa huku sana sana. When you look at a lot of the discussions in the forums that Kenyans have, tunafikiria this community hawatupendi, this community hawatupendi. We have this kind of a mindset, but your experience actually shows the level of professionalism and care irrespective of nationality that is in UAE.
I'm telling you, when you get into a hospital, you're all the same. Especially in a COVID ward, the most important thing right there is oxygen. Forget about what you own, what property you have, what job, what your title. No money can help you in there, but just oxygen.
Wow.
The most valuable product there is oxygen. If that oxygen is cut, you go.
Wow.
And oxygen is a free thing.
So finally you walked out of the hospital, fine, recovered, and
I've not recovered yet. Honestly, recovery will take long. My lungs, you have noticed I'm trying to breathe. I still have my weakness, fatigue, I still have brain fog. The worst is brain fog. Brain fog me, like you talk to me and I just stare at you. So basically that's what happened. But the doctor said it will take up to 6 weeks. So I've been out for the last 3 weeks. I'm walking 3 kilometers a day. I started with 1 kilometer, but it's just brisk walk. It's embarrassing to see an old man running in the park. And you're walking and you're a trainer, but you take it low because I cannot push my lungs.
No, you can't.
You have a permanent damage.
Wow.
So, but just being patient. Next week I'll try go to the gym and lift a little bit of 2 kilograms, 5 kgs. Somebody will walk next to me and say, "You're a big guy, why are you not taking heavy weights?"
Slow but sure. The funny thing about Corona is your experience is different from his experience, different from mine. I also had tested positive, but I isolated at home. I think Tommy.
Yeah, I'm saying what he's gone through.
It's different. It's
totally
different.
different.
But we are just taking a short break. This is hot. This is great. This is Kedwa TV. We'll be back shortly.
Content is king, and content creation is now the dream of every organization. Be visible. Work with us to achieve this. Documentaries, features, adverts, infomercials, digital marketing and media liaison. Also, book airtime on national TV for features, documentaries and adverts through us. Call us +254 732 584045. Charms Media, your visibility partner.